Today, really simple. I've got two different things on the docket today. First, yes, those of you who guessed correctly. I wanted to create some kind of response video to just the hundreds and hundreds of comments about the the foot fault video. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding, and I want to respond to a lot of really good points that people made too. And then secondly, for those of you who want to stick around just a couple minutes, I'll do a live Q&A here as well. So yeah, this is being broadcasted live. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So first of all, many of you made some really good points, and I want to make sure to address those because several of you had some really good responses to. I basically tried to make the case that foot faulting isn't really that big of an advantage. In fact, frequently it's a disadvantage for the person who's stepping across the line or stepping onto the line. And in full transparency, I didn't do a good job. I didn't do a good job at all of making the case for foot faulting making a difference. And several of you did a really nice job of pointing that out. Lars here, not sure if you guys will be able to read this, but Lars said the fact that it hurts this specific person doesn't make it right. Stepping into the court has three major advantages, even if it's a little bit. Better angles, it takes away time, better net clearance, and those are all really good points. I wanted to make sure to highlight that because Lars is exactly correct, and many of you pointed that out as well. I focused in on the fact that it gets you closer to your intended target, and so it gives you that advantage, but absolutely correct. It also takes away some time. It gives a slightly better angle into the service box. So it's important to acknowledge, those as well. And in full, transparency, I didn't do a very good job of representing that side of it. Lars and the rest of you who pointed that out, thank you. Another one that came up a bunch is the whole topic of serve and volleying. Definitely, if you can get a full step, which is aggressive, but it does happen. If you can get a full step inside the baseline on a serve and volley, definitely helps a lot in getting up to the net. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. Many of you made that point, and it's a really good point. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to address is that somehow many of you made the jump. The fact that I made a video about kind of mindset around being on the receiving end of foot faults. My whole point with this video is just simply to point out that there's an opportunity cost. If you're going to call it and your attention is being drawn to your opponent's feet, then you're missing out on all kinds of other stuff. And somehow many people took that to mean that I was justifying foot faulting, or that I was saying it was okay, or that I was saying that I'm fine with people breaking the rules. And none of those things are true. So you can't justify breaking the rules. I wasn't saying foot faulting is good, or that it's okay, or that I think foot faulting is like a good idea. I thought I was clear in saying the opposite, like it's a bad thing. And I read the rule in the video. Like I showed the place in the rule book where it says it's against the rules. So just to be really super clear, foot faulting is against the rules of tennis, and you shouldn't break the rules of tennis. You shouldn't do that. And so just to put that out there, like a lot of you seem to think that I was saying that I thought it was okay if you break the rules, and I don't think it's okay if you knowingly break the rules. We'll get to that in a second. Another just example here. So basically, it's fine to break the rules. No, it's not fine to break the rules. I just want to be really clear that I don't condone rule breaking in tennis. And so I just wanted to be super upfront and make sure I when I set out to make this video, I didn't think I was going to have to explain that A, it's against the rules, and B, I don't think you should break the rules. But it's the internet. Apparently, I guess I should have explained that. So if it came across like I was like being like, meh, like you can break the rules if you want, then I apologize. It was absolutely not my intention at all to make it sound that way. So if you got that impression, then I apologize. Definitely not what I was going for. Okay, the next thing here. Many people seem to think that this is cheating. And I was using Adam, as the example. It's cheating, period, and should not be encouraged. High-level serve and volleyers at foot fault are straight up cheating. Now, I want to be really clear on this as well. If you foot fault and you don't know you foot fault, which personally, like I choose to believe, you might have a different opinion. Personally, I choose to believe that most people who foot fault don't know they're foot faulting. And I believe Adam when he tells me, "Oh wow, I didn't realize that I was foot faulting." He's probably been called for it in the past. Like, it would shock me if he's never been called for it. Obviously, in that example that we used in the video, it's pretty aggressive and very consistent. So I'm sure that he's been called for foot faults in the past. On that particular day, was he aware that he was foot faulting? Maybe I'm an optimist. Maybe I'm a glass half full, kind of person. I don't think he knew he was foot faulting and doing it anyway. That would be cheating. Take, for example, if you're playing a match and you mess up the score and you finish the match and you gave yourself a point without realizing it, or you gave yourself a game without realizing it. Those of you who've played tennis for a long time, you've experienced this at some point. Like, the score gets messed up sometimes. Is that cheating? If you give yourself a point or give yourself, a game, is that cheating? Well, if you knew about it, yeah, absolutely. It's against the rules to give yourself free points. Just like if you call the ball out and you know it was in, that's cheating. But I've made mistakes on line calls completely innocently, like not wanting to do it on purpose. Is that cheating? Like, if I don't know that I'm wrong, is it cheating? Somebody said something funny in the comments. They said, if Adam doesn't know he's foot faulting and Scott doesn't know he's foot faulting, Scott didn't know either, is there really a foot fault? And again, please, internet, hear me. I'm not saying it's okay to break the rules. I'm not saying, oh, it's okay to foot fault. I think Adam should work on his serve and not foot fault, both to preserve the integrity of the rules and also so that he can hit a better serve and hit a more quality serve. I'm not at all saying that it's okay to foot fault, but it's not cheating unless he knows he's foot faulting and he's doing it to gain an advantage. If those two things aren't present, which I truthfully, I don't believe that they were present, then in my opinion, it's not cheating. But I think, and this almost kind of like made my point a little bit, if every time you play tennis, you're fixated on what the other person is doing that bothers you, then it takes you so far out of the match. And all of a sudden, it's like you are a pawn and you're just getting wrapped up in the emotions and the drama of feeling like you're being cheated. And if your eyes and your emotions and your thoughts are all looking at the feet of your opponent while they're putting up their toss to hit their serve, how effective of a tennis player are you going to be? That's the only point I was trying to make in that video. I mean, that's really it. Wasn't trying to say you should go cheat or that it's okay. Okay, now that being said, really good point here being made by Joe. I want to highlight it because it was, I thought, really well made. Joe said, you're missing the point. It's not about the 2.5% advantage. It's the fact that I should win those points 100% of the time due to his foot faults because it is breaking the rule. That's like saying, oh, the ball is only out by an inch and not calling it, and it's like a 3% advantage to the opponent. No, he loses that point to me 100% of the time, which is my advantage. So he's saying like the percentage of like distance or like the angle or like the time really is irrelevant. It's against the rules, and so he should lose that point. And I agree with that. Like, that's really excellent point being made there. I mean, pretty ironclad, reasoning, like logic there. It is against the rules, and so it should be a fault. And if you do it on both serves, you should lose that point. But the thing is, I don't think it's analogous to a line call, because on a line call, you're calling something that's happening on your own side of the court. It's like the ball is landing there, and I'm standing there watching it. when you're trying to call a foot fault, it's all the way on the other side of the court, 80 feet away. And to try to tell if somebody's toe touches the line or not from 80 feet away is a completely different thing, number one. And number two, you're taking your vision away from the toss location, away from the body position, away from the indicators, like reading the ball and trying to hit an effective return, and you're putting all that attention someplace else. So the only point I was trying to make in that video is simply weigh the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means that since your attention is in one place, it can't be someplace else. So you need to make a decision for yourself. If foot faults really, really, really bother you, then it might be worth it for you to put all your attention down at the feet of your opponent, all the way over on the other side of the court. It might be worth it for you to put your attention there instead of watching them hit the serve. For me, I'm going to continue not watching for it. I'm going to continue not calling it unless it's some kind of unbelievably aggressive, scenario or situation. I'm not watching for it. I'm not going to call it. But you do you. If you feel it's worth the trade-off, then by all means, go ahead and continue to watch for it and try to call it. It's totally your prerogative. And I say that 100%, knowing that it's against the rules. But I've never cared, and I will continue to not care. Like I'd rather focus on hitting a good return than trying to catch them being an inch over the line. Okay, just about done here, and then we'll do Q&A. And this commenter just basically just saying what I just said, and many of you, amazingly, incredibly, like several of you actually agreed with me, which, given the response, I thought was pretty amazing. I never notice if my opponent is foot faulting because I'm more interested in tracking the ball to destroy the return. That's exactly, I guess maybe I just should have said that. That's the only point I'm trying to make. It's like you can focus on hitting a great return, or you can focus on what their feet are doing. And I don't believe that it's a big enough advantage to my opponent that I'm going to take my focus off of the most important shot when I'm returning serve, which is obviously the return. So I just wanted to go through some comments. Many of you made some really excellent points. I wanted to highlight, some of those, highlight some of the things I got wrong, and then also make sure to address some of the most common kind of themes that were in there as well. Be happy to do some Q&A now. If anybody has any questions you'd like me to answer about tennis, about anything, whatever you want to talk about. Let's walk over to the chat here, see what's going on. I haven't been keeping up with the chat up until this point. From RJ, if you're calling foot faults all the time, trying to get free points, you need to get a lesson and just learn to kick some ass. A little less subtle than the way I said it, but listen, I'm being totally honest and truthful. Like, if it bothers you that much and you want to focus on it, then that's fine. You do you. I'm not going to tell you you're doing something wrong. I totally get the rules are rules, kind of mindset. I respect that. I totally get it. In that video, I just wanted to point out that you're giving something up by trying to be like the foot fault crusader. There's an opportunity cost there by taking your attention off the serve and putting it on their feet instead. That's the only point I wanted to make. Sorry, it got jumbled up. Thoughts on the Australian Open quarantine situation? I honestly haven't followed it at all. I know there was something in there about Djokovic, and that's all I know. I haven't followed the situation at all, so sorry I don't have anything specific there. If you had to do it over again, would you do anything differently in treating your ankle? Wow. Super interesting question there. I mean, yeah, I don't think I've done 100%, job, Timothy, to be totally honest with you. Man, what would I do differently? I would spend more time on rehab exercises. I think I've done a pretty good job. I would give myself like a B or a B plus. like I think I've done a good job, but I didn't do the best I could. I could have spent more time on rehab exercises. I could have done more icing. It's like I've done what I feel like I should have done, but not like an A plus. So that's pretty much it. For the most part, I think I've done pretty well, but I haven't gone all in on the recovery. There's so much more I'm trying to keep tabs on here. Have you tried acupuncture for your foot? I have done acupuncture in the past, but I haven't tried it for this injury specifically. How's your back? Yeah, so I went and did dry needling for my back yesterday, and got some exercises to start to. Basically, I've got some misalignment in my pelvis, and my SI, lower back area was just kind of locked up, and so getting some treatment on that. I had some treatment yesterday, and I'm going back again on Friday. And so I've got some rehab, work I'm working on there. So back feels better today, for sure. I'm actually hitting with Mark Sansa later today, who I believe is in the chat. So I'm gonna try to keep the intensity down, and just keep let the back continue to heal. But the ankle has been feeling really good, so I'm really happy about that. Bought serve mastery course and practice like hell all summer, 400 serves a week. Good for you, Karen. Congrats. A, thank you for your support. B, thank you for posting that you're doing the work. That's what I always like to hear the most. Is that you're not just learning through digital resources, but actually doing the work is really the most important part. So kudos to you for that. You should play a match with Tennis Troll. Yeah, I totally agree. I would love to. I think he'd be a really tough opponent. Let's see. Have you ever played on gravel? Did you like it? No. I've played on crappy green clay courts that were kind of like gravel. Let's see. $20 says Mark will call at least 2 foot faults on Ian when they play. Now, here's a little bit of inside information for you guys. Here's the interesting thing is, I'll give you all a sneak peek. Those of you who are watching this video, Adam is coming back from. Adam's the one that was doing the aggressive foot faulting. He is coming back to play a match against Ira. This is going to be Ira's first match back after having twins like 4 months ago. I think they're about 4 months old now. He's been off the courts, out of shape. He's coming back and playing Adam. And so tell me in the comments, do you think Adam will continue to foot fault after all of the crazy, comments and feedback about his first match, or do you think he's going to change it for his match against Ira? Any reason you're not taping your ankle or wearing a brace? I honestly don't want to get into it. Yeah, I'm not putting a brace on. I'm not taping it. I'm relying more on like strengthening and recovery, and I'll just leave it at that. People get so triggered on like medical, and rehab type stuff. Initially, I wanted to do like a whole series of videos on like my ankle rehab, but like I posted 1 or 2 videos. Like I went and saw a chiropractor. People, got nuts about that. And then the PT that I saw, nothing's ever good. Like it always stirs up controversy anytime you go into kind of medical or training stuff on the internet. And I don't know. I don't have patience, or I don't have extra emotional bandwidth to like deal with. I know you're not supposed to like give in to the haters, but I just don't even want to go there. Yeah, Ira had twins a couple months ago. All right, let's see what else we have here. Adam will foot fault and Ira will go berserk. I don't think Ira is going to care if he foot faults, but it's an interesting call. I'll have to ask Ira if he's even going to watch for it. I mean, he follows our like videos, so he's probably up on what's going on with it. But I haven't even asked him about it. Like, I don't know. How's Kevin doing? Kevin's doing great. Megan, they're both doing great. They took over a country club program down in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and have just been growing it like tremendously. They intended to keep making videos on total tennis domination, and it's just really hard when you're on the court full time, when you're 40 hours a week, on a tennis court, and you're in charge of like the program, meaning like building lessons, building clinics, building programming. It takes so much energy, and so I'm sad they haven't posted more videos, because the ones that they've posted have been really excellent. They've been really amazing, but it's so hard to do when you're coaching full time. When is the next match with you? Yeah, I'm starting to make plans, Larissa. I have reached out. I won't spoil my next match, but I've already reached out to the person I'm going to play first, coming back from my injury, and we're kind of in the early stages of setting that up. And I'm hoping, I'm like literally feeling like my foot and my ankle right now. I'm hoping 2 weeks from now, maybe 3 weeks from now, will be my first point play. And hitting with Mark today is going to be kind of part of that process for me, of just kind of getting back into a more normal, tennis match kind of environment. Good choice for my mental health. What happened to Kirby? Kirby left, over 2 years ago now. She moved down to Chicago with her fiance. She worked with Wilson. Their headquarters are in Chicago. She was working with them for a while, and that's kind of the last I heard from her as far as like what she's doing or what she's spending time on. We exchange quick text messages every once in a while, but I haven't really like caught up with her in quite a while, so I'm not sure what she's up to right now, but hopefully she's doing well. Yeah, well, Adam is required to change now. Not realizing your foot faulting is one thing, but once the problem is identified, you need to fix it. I don't disagree with that, Quizman. Like the fact that it was pointed out to him by the whole internet, and there's the whole controversy around it, and now coming back to playing that same, I don't disagree. Like I feel personally, I feel like he has like a responsibility if he wants to. And I'm not gonna like tell him what to do. Like he can do whatever he wants, and Ira can do whatever he wants when he plays it. Like he can feel free to call the foot. Like the two of them are free to do whatever they want. Personally, like I would feel like a obligation to like the integrity of the game and of the content and like the community. Like I would feel a responsibility to change it personally. If it was pointed out to me, and especially if it was like that bad and that like frequent. Well, I'm curious to see what he does. I honestly don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. All right, let's see. $20 says Ira will foot fault by 2 feet on his first serve just for sake of mind games. That's not outside the realm of possible. Ira would totally do that. Let's see here. Please play Tennis Evolution, Jeff Salzenstein. Listen, I don't know, Space Zebra. So Jeff made it to top 100 ATP, and that would be like me. Like I consider myself like an okay like 4 or 5 right now. That would be like me playing a 2-5. I mean, for real. Even though he's older than me, and obviously he's a long ways out of being on the tour. He retired a long time ago, but you have to understand that level of athleticism, tempo, pace, offense is just like from like between 4 or 5 and that level of play is like not even in the same universe. Sure, like he hasn't been training, and he's not in the same shape he was then, and he's older and all that sort of thing, but that level of talent is so far beyond me and like what my level of play is. Danica, thank you, appreciate it. Don't play MEP first match back, might not end well. I'm not. So okay, I'll tell you who I'm not. I'm not playing anybody my first match back that has super huge stakes, because I know myself that if I got into a situation where it was like iffy, if like my ankle started hurting, or there was like a ball that I know I shouldn't like slide, I'm not going to slide, you know, right now on that right foot. But if it was like a big point and a big match and it's being recorded and like I really want to win, I would do it anyway. And so I'm trying not to put myself in a position where I make stupid decisions, because my instinct is to do stupid things in a competitive environment. That's like my instinct, is to just do whatever it takes, and that's not what I need to be doing right now. Play some tie breaks with Mark. Yeah, that's a possibility. Football apology tour. Yeah, Ira left like 3 years ago, probably over 3 years ago. Ira left Essential Tennis. Oh, office is next to the Wilson building. Nice. I've got a lot of friends at Wilson. Appreciate it, Karen. Let's see. Jorge Diaz. Hey, what's up? Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Sorry, just kind of catching up here. Do you call people out for drop shotting every point? No. What's wrong with that? I guess it's legit. If they drop shot every point, then obviously they found some kind of advantage that they can exploit, and that's not their fault. Like that's my fault. Like if I'm too slow, or if my reaction is too crappy, or if my volleys are that bad, then I should be foot faulted. Then I should be drop shotted. Man, foot fault is just like on my brain now. I should be drop shotted over and over. If my overhead is terrible, then I should be lobbed again and again and again and again. After Mark Sanset, then you're gonna lob me, even though my overhead is like one of my best shots, again and again and again. Sorry, Mark. Had to throw that in there. Have any female players in the queue? So I've reached out to 2 female players recently, and I've answered this question a couple times, and basically my answer to it is I put players on the court that are down to play on the court, and it's getting pretty routine now that I receive inquiries and people saying, hey, how can I like play a match on the Essential Tennis court? And they're all dudes, and I don't know what that, I'm not making any like judgments or like saying anything one way or the other about like why that is. I'm not going to make any guesses about like why that is, but it is what it is. And so as soon as I get a female, I have reached out to female players twice now, and they're both kind of like maybes, and I haven't locked anything up yet, but it's like I'm making an effort to make that happen. Doubles is coming very soon, by the way. A lot of you have asked about doubles, and that's coming soon. Mark, no, I don't miss many overheads. Now the first time I miss an overhead on the ET court on camera, I'm gonna definitely regret saying that. Have you ever watched Top Tennis Training? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, how in the world would I not watch them? Yeah, they're, I think, the biggest tennis YouTube channel right now, outside of like the US Open or like the Australian Open. Yeah, they do an amazing job. Oh snap! Kevin Wickham is Wickham at Wilson. Everybody say hi to Kevin at Wilson. He's hooked me up a lot. Kevin, you probably are actually. You gave me this racket, didn't you? I think. Kevin hooks me up with tennis balls, and been really nice to me over the years. Really appreciate your support, Kevin. Ankle-wise, you choose to go off-grid is a good choice. Not to video it because of your personal choice. Not be recommended for anyone else. Yeah, and honestly, that's at REM 79. Like I very much feel that way. Like my personal choices for my feet and my ankles are very different than normal, and so what I'm doing, I frankly I don't recommend anyway. So that's part of the it's part of the reason why I've chosen just not to address it really. Yeah, I'm definitely due for a racket upgrade. My last training session with Eric, he was talking to me about going to a different racket. Maybe it'll happen soon. So yeah, this is an old 95 square inch Wilson racket, which is what I used forever. And I'm a big fan of this racket, but I might change sometime soon. I don't know. We'll see. But it's discontinued. It's not made anymore. It hasn't been made for years. Would I ever play Peter Freeman? Yeah, absolutely. Do you know 15 Points of Tennis channel? Yep. I subscribe to just about everybody. Kaoru from Tennis HQ would be a beast to play against Mark. I don't think Mark wants any piece of Kaoru. Mark, do you know Kaoru at Tennis HQ? I mean, he was top 300 or 400 or something like that, ATP. Nobody who's played on this court so far, I don't think wants a piece of. I mean, I know like Mark will play him, but same thing as what I said before. Like me versus like Jeff Salzenstein. I mean, that's an even bigger spread than Mark and Kaoru. I mean, that's just a completely different level of. It's hard to explain. Like it's almost not even like tennis. It might as well be like asking me to go play polo, like something I've never done before. Like that level of execution is just so much higher. Yeah, Ethan, foot's feeling a lot better. Thanks. I'm doing some hitting with Mark later today. New pro staff are legit. Put 90 RF 97. New pro staff. Yeah, that'll be one that I look at for sure. I'm a big fan of Wilson player, frames. Anything 95 inch or 97 inch, like it's kind of what I'm into for sure. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign off here in just a minute. I'm gonna hit a few balls before Mark gets here, just to warm up, so he doesn't have to stand over there while I get my body moving. Mark will be here pretty soon. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, see you soon. What's the difference between an overhead and serve? Yeah, that's good. Good question, Gabrielle. Yeah, it's the exact same fundamentals. The difference is on a overhead, you're way closer to the net, and so your angle of attack, the angle of your racket face at contact, should be much more closed. The angle of your racket should be facing downwards, and so it's a more level and or downward strike of the ball. Whereas on a serve from 40 feet away from the net, everything on a high level serve is going upwards. It's going up towards the ball, and the release of the racket is traveling upwards. And so at contact, the racket face is very close to square. It's flat. Maybe a few degrees closed, but not any more than that. And it's only closed at all on like a 120 mile an hour serve. If you're hitting a 60 or 70 mile an hour serve, your racket face is probably actually open a little bit. But on an overhead, when you're very close, you can swing more level, maybe even swing downwards. But the grip, the mechanics of like circling the racket around, going into like a racket drop or back scratch position, and then releasing the racket head and snapping the racket head, all that stuff is exactly the same. What's in my tennis bag? I don't have a tennis bag right now. I haven't had a tennis bag in years. When I go play like a tournament for the first time, I'm gonna have to buy one. Yeah, Coach Adrian. Yeah, I'm about to sign off the stream here, and that I started off by addressing the foot fault video. So if you missed it, just refresh as soon as the stream is over. The first like 10 minutes or so, I responded to a lot of comments. Recording your session with Mark? Yes, yeah, I am going to record it, and we'll make a video out of it. So you'll get to see that in probably about a week or two. Where should I place the ball if I'm a heavy baseliner? as deep as possible, and usually cross courts. What string do I use? I don't know what's in here, but it's poly. I like full poly strings. Mark knows what it is. Mark strings my rackets, by the way. I don't remember what this is, but I like full poly strings. Last question or two. One more question, and then I'm going to stop for today. I got to get ready for Mark. Weightlifting, not recently. Believe it or not, I was really into CrossFit for a couple years, and I really loved it, actually. I really enjoy Olympic weightlifting, although my body is not at all designed for it. But I actually really like weightlifting, believe it or not. It just kind of fits my mentality. Like I like going short periods of time, very intensity. So like I enjoy that part of it a lot. I hate cardio. So, but recently, it's only been body weight stuff, push-ups and air squats. I have a pull-up bar at home, but I haven't used that for a little bit just because of the back and the neck, stuff that I've been dealing with for the last couple months. So I've been giving a rest on the pull-ups. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you all for hanging out. Hopefully the comments on the foot fault video makes sense. I'm gonna go ahead and start getting set up and start warming my body up for hitting with Mark. I'm looking forward to that a lot. If you're watching right now, 154 of you, I want you to know I appreciate your support so much. So does the rest of the team. There's Tyler over there. Say hi, Tyler. Tyler's working on a new video for you right now. James is at home editing, working on new videos for you right now. We have a lot on the calendar. That's super exciting. My first match back will be coming in a couple weeks, and we have a doubles match coming out soon with commentary from the viewing area up there. What else do we have coming up? Oh, we have two doubles matches. One of them is really exciting, and we've got Adam versus Ira coming up. All kinds of stuff. New lessons coming out too. So thanks for being here today. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for watching what we do, for engaging. Thank you for being here. I'll talk to you all again soon. Take care.